Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the most professional podcast on the internet. It's the Retro Renaissance podcast, where we have another person's theme stuck as our own, but from now on it will be different. Maybe not. We're here tonight to commiserate the life of one Sega Dreamcast. We barely knew ye.
Just wiped away a single tear.
And with me tonight are my good friend Thomas Brahilia on YouTube, who you must all check out.
Oh, thanks.
For his somewhat comedic views on retro video games. I think that's fair to say, isn't it? Comedic?
I guess so.
The Silent Hill playthrough's been very good though. Silent Hill 2 playthrough, sorry.
Oh, thanks. I thought it was really pretentious and bullshit when I watched it back.
It's really good, actually. It's really got me wanting to play Silent Hill.
Thanks, buddy.
So yeah, especially now because I won't fuck about and I'll know where to go on it.
Yeah, amen.
And then also with us tonight we have our special guest, as we do every week, is one Woodlin37, Carl.
Woo!
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm really good, thank you. Yeah, really good.
It's nice to have you on.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Now,
Nice to be on.
oh well, you're always on something. So sorry.
True.
Always. For those of you who don't know, Carl Woodlin37, I'm sure you all know Carl Woodlin37 on YouTube, has a retro channel with a difference in that he's actually human. Shows some emotion and some thought, and it's not scripted at all. Thanks.
If you don't know Woodlin37 on YouTube, you failed at life.
Well, on the planet of 6 billion, I think he has about 700 subscribers. That doesn't give us much hope as a species.
No.
But
Yeah.
we've done a fair bit together. We run me and Carl Woodlin. We run a show called The Two Fat Bastards, which you can check out. Two Fat Bastards live on YouTube. Soon we'll have T-shirts.
Oh yes, yeah. Big announcement, that one, isn't it?
£20 each.
You're joking?
No.
Oh, I'll have to chuck some dollar your way for that then, because I didn't realise they were that dear.
No, they're £15, but then we'd have to ship them out, wouldn't we? So.
Can I ask about the irony of available sizes?
It basically starts at XL and it goes to 4XL.
Ooh. So you don't cater for the skinny.
If you want
skinny
one,
twig
Tom,
boys.
we'll sort you out one, mate.
Nice, I'm feeling it.
£15 plus postage.
£15.
Yeah.
But mates rates. What are they? I think I did them earlier, and I ordered 2. So they are £15 each, yeah. Unless you order like 5 or 10 or whatever, and then you get a group discount. But I've ordered the high quality version with front and back.
Ah, so not the Fruit of the Loom version.
No, exactly that. Yeah. These are, I wanted it to last, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got that. I think I was thinking, I'll get the 16-bit Brothers one. They'll only be about a £5, and then I looked at it, I thought, no, fuck that. Because they've got the Game Chasers T-shirt, so it'd be nice to have them all on there, wearing the Two Fat Bastards T-shirts. But never mind.
That is awesome.
Never mind. I'm not spending £60 on those DOS cunts. Right.
All about the love here at Retro Renaissance.
That'll be Johnny will listen to this because he listens to podcasts and he'll be giggling himself stupid now. Anyway.
He should be drunk now, actually.
Why is that? What's he doing?
Well, it was Roger's 30th yesterday, so I think this afternoon they've all gone out and had a few beers. Sorry?
On a Sunday? Goodness me.
Yeah, I think so.
They're not just wanking themselves stupid over Titanfall. Well, except that Danny's the only one without it, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Danny will sit playing Rad Racer on the NES like a good boy.
Yeah.
Rock on.
So, Tom, how have you been? What have you bought? What have you been playing? Have you bought anything?
Not this week, no. I've been so busy trying to get ready. So I went to a wedding this weekend. I've got absolutely shit-faced. I'm hanging out my arse today. But yeah, I haven't really played much other than I've plugged on through Resident Evil 6 and like, oh man, you're going to need to go in with a bottle of scotch or something because it's...
So I've got a bottle of scotch here. It's the famous grouse.
Save it. Save
but
it for when you play through Resident Evil.
Instead of being called the famous grouse on the front of it, it's got the famous Heaney's 22.
Ooh.
Oh, very nice.
I know. It's still a shitty famous grouse, but it's not out of the front.
So is it that bad then, Resident Evil 6? Really that terrible?
If you're a fan of the series, it's awful.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I played through Leon's campaign, and without giving too much away, well, I guess it kind of is spoilers, but I have been through a train crash, a plane crash, a helicopter crash, a nuclear fallout, and what was the other thing that happened?
Is this an episode of 24 you're describing, or Resident Evil 6?
It might as well be. I think I described it last time as...
Do you remember when zombie games were about zombies?
Yeah, I do. I do remember that. Yeah, now they're not called zombies, they're called bioterrorists.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
The main protagonist, Carl, all the way up to 5 was one guy, and you always thought that was it. But now the twist in the story is, because they wanted to make more money and milk the series more, the main protagonist can now be anybody.
I see, right.
So they've milked it, and people got annoyed with it for that reason.
They've completely lost their way then, haven't they?
Mind you, when you've got a couple of films out on it, it's never going to be a good one, is it?
No.
And how about you, Carl? How have you been? And what have you picked up? If you can tell us. I don't want to ruin any videos. I know you did one earlier.
I did one earlier. The one that I've been playing a lot, and I said in the video that I did, it's just absolutely blown me away. It's the graphically and the soundtrack on it is just absolutely amazing, and as well as the gameplay, of course. But Muramasa Rebirth on the PS Vita.
Ooh.
Bought by Vanillaware, who don't often bring out any shit. Not that they brought out a lot, but still, it's the graphics on the Vita. It's just absolutely unreal, as well as the soundtrack and the game itself. It's just absolutely fantastic. A side-scrolling action RPG game, just absolutely brilliant. Now it is on Wii as well, and it's kind of just on Wii U. No, it's on Wii. It's on Wii. Which obviously, if you've got a Wii U, it's worth picking up because you can still play it. But you definitely need to get it on Wii. It's just a carbon copy, and I'm not too sure why it's called Rebirth. I don't know whether maybe there's a few bells and whistles on it here and there, but I think it's the exact same game. But yeah, been playing that.
Nice.
Today I've got to say I picked up a couple of Wii U games, the Mario World and Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and I've got to say I'm loving Donkey Kong. What an absolutely slick masterpiece! And the Mario, I only played a couple of levels, but yeah, very, very good, Carl. I will give you that, because we were talking about it earlier. Very, very impressed with that. Just incredibly crisp and smooth, and plays really well. I'm not a huge fan of 3D platformers, but Nathan's loving it so far, so we'll see how he gets on with it.
Yeah, wicked.
But yeah, no, the Donkey Kong one really got me, actually. I was really surprised by it.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Hard game. Well, they always are.
Oh yeah, very hard.
They always are.
I like the addition though that you can buy extra lives from Funky Kong.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
And get some power-ups from him as well and stuff like that. So yeah, very, very cool, but well worth looking into.
Jet Set Radio.
I did pick up a whole bunch of PSP stuff again this week, and some original Xbox stuff and a little Game Boy game. I've got Prince Valiant, Tom, on the Game Boy.
Wow.
Yeah. For £2, and I thought, oh, that's not going to be worth it. I bet I've been conned there. That's a 50p game if ever there was one. And it's £7 on eBay.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. It's and I've had a quick blast on it. It's quite fun. It's like it goes between top down to side scrolling.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit of a weird one, really. But yeah, interesting enough anyway to play.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the Dreamcast, back on topic. The reason we've got Carl here tonight is because he had and correct me if I'm wrong here, Carl, you had a full Dreamcast collection.
No, I didn't have a full one.
Or close to.
I was close to it. I was close to it. A full PAL collection. Yeah, I was very, very close to it. I couldn't quite, from memory now, I couldn't tell you what I was missing.
Couldn't finish the job. That's what his wife said.
I couldn't finish I probably would have finished the job. But I think it was one of those things where times got a little bit hard, and I sold it on because I had three before days of YouTube. This was like years ago and whatnot. I had the Neo Geo Pocket Collection, which I think was 3 games off it or 4 games off it, completing that. The GameCube and the Dreamcast, but the Dreamcast one, it's my favourite console ever.
And of course, this week it's been announced that Crazy Taxi's coming to mobile.
Yeah, I don't get excited by things like that. I don't know why.
Well, I think it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. It could be a good thing because people get into Crazy Taxi, then they get into retro and they see Crazy Taxi. I've got it on my PS3 actually, Crazy Taxi.
PS3?
Yeah, on a download. I got it free with PSN Plus.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic.
What's the deal with the soundtrack with the re-releases?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because if you remember those same 3 songs going round and round and round. It was 2 Offspring songs and a Bad Religion song just on a constant loop.
Yeah, there was, weren't there? Yeah.
It just burns into your skull. It's like Rob Zombie's Dragula being in every game or something. It's like every time I hear that, I just feel this sense of panic, like I'm on a timer.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it though, Crazy Taxi. I mean, there was nothing.
Oh, yeah.
When that came out, there was, and that's the thing with the Dreamcast games that even stuff like Virtua Tennis. I mean, Virtua Tennis. Yeah, it's superb game. I mean, you don't really need to be into tennis to enjoy it. It was just absolutely fantastic game.
Do you know what? Once upon a time, when I was a kid, I used to be able to actually play with that LCD screen and not look at the TV.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
When I tried it recently, I was just like, "What the fuck? I can't see shit." So cool, though. Such a cool idea.
It was actually, yeah. Which has never been replicated, has it? Really?
I guess not.
No.
Not that I thought it failed, but maybe it just wasn't. People didn't want that.
It just had so many cool, weird little ideas. It was way ahead of its time.
Too far ahead. That was the problem, of course, with the Dreamcast. So many good ideas, like having an internet browser, an operating system on the console, one of the first of its kind, the modem, there were other options in Japan, but really over here and in America there wasn't.
All it needed was a fucking DVD player, and we'd still be here today.
Let's go into the history a little bit. So, released in November 1998 in Japan, and then North America, September 1999, October 1999, PAL, and Australia, November 1999. So almost a whole year to get from Japan to over here. That's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
For a console to come over. From,
that's like days of yore.
Now,
yeah,
when it discontinued in March 2001, Sega completely scrapped hardware. Well, a few odds and sods here and there, but like little miniature products, and went full-fledged third-party developer. So, you're talking here about a 3-year console, really, 2 years over here. But, as we were saying earlier, way ahead of its time. Great arcade titles, Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio. The Shenmue at the time was the most expensive game ever produced upon release. Still hugely popular, that game, and Shenmue 2, obviously, the follow-up. And it was the first console to render full frames in VGA mode at 640 by 480 and feature online console gaming. So, Phantasy Star Online.
I think it was the first one to have anti-aliasing as well.
Yeah, it's huge leaps forward. So what happened was, in the late 90s, the Saturn was struggling in North America. The Sega of America decided, well, you know what? They were really pushing Japan, saying we need a new platform. So out it came, basically. Here it was. Now for Sega up until then, you could put in a disc or a cartridge and just turn on and go. But they put in an optimized version of Windows CE which supported DirectX, which allowed for the anti-aliasing, which we mentioned earlier. So it was launched to much aplomb in Japan, and had a few teething problems when it came over to America. Really successful. 300,000 units pre-ordered in the US alone, and they sold 500,000 units in 2 weeks alone, including 225,000 within 24 hours. Hugely successful. So Sega had the problem that Sony have now, where they were unable to fulfill all of the advance orders. So the titles that came off in Soul Calibur, Sonic Adventure, Power Stone, Hydro Thunder, Marvel vs. Capcom, House of the Dead 2, NFL 2K. Now, if you like NFL, great. Those other games, though, everyone will agree that they know. Well, they might not know Hydro Thunder, but Hydro Thunder's a fairly decent game anyway. But the rest of them, everyone will know those games, and everyone will know that they're solid games. To have a launch title that good was fantastic. And so you then had, basically, EA weren't doing sports games on the system, so Sega Sports released their own games, which were more popular for some reason.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were very good too.
Virtua Tennis, all really good games. And it even put them ahead of the N64. However, in 2000, the PS2 came out, and that was basically it.
Which is strange, because when the PS2 came out, it didn't have jack shit.
It didn't, did it? But you've got to remember that the Dreamcast was in that kind of the position that the Wii U's in now, where the PS4 and the Xbox One have come out. They're not necessarily better consoles, but they've got tons better marketing, especially for the Western market. So people have latched onto it. So, it was, it closed down, as we know. There's been loads of rumours for Dreamcast 2. Sega repeatedly debunked them. The Xbox has been described as Dreamcast's spiritual successor.
Was it really?
Yeah, because when you think about it, it had all the sequels to the Dreamcast games. You know, Shenmue 2,
right, okay.
Jet Set Radio Future, Crazy Taxi 3, House of Dead 3, Sega GT 2002, PGR.
Yeah.
And the games like Fable and Ninja Gaiden, they started development on the Dreamcast.
No shit.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So, just the same as Croc on the PS1. That was originally going to be a Yoshi game on the N64. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's the sound of my mind being blown.
I know, yeah. I didn't know any of this.
So, it's kind of... It was a trendsetter, though, because it had all these features that would feature. So, all the models being shipped with a modem.
Yeah, plug in straight out the box.
Yeah, so sort of a precursor to PS2 Network and Xbox Live. We never got PS2 Network over here, but it was available. Well, it did, but yeah. But the Xbox
plug in
Live,
straight out the box. Sorry.
Exactly. You had stuff like Alien Front Online, which was the first online console game to feature live in-voice chat.
Damn.
NFL 2K1 was the first game to feature online play. Phantasy Star Online, first console MMO.
Oh, man.
Jet Set Radio popularized cel-shaded graphics. Shenmue, major step forward for 3D open world. All of these kind of events have set it there. But the Sega's arrogance towards the market at this point, and it's dilly-dallying around with 50 consoles in 2 years. Well, somewhere close to that mark.
Yeah.
Really, just the market was just fed up with Sega, and alas, we all look back at it now through rose-tinted glasses. But it was a great machine.
It was.
The VMU that you guys talked about earlier was just so good back, and it's taken us until now with the PS4 and the Wii U to have an on-screen device, which is crazy, isn't it? When you think about it, you've had to go through the PS2 and the PS3 to get an on-screen device. Two vacant generations. So, Carl, what was your first memories of the Dreamcast?
I actually, I never bought one when they were available in the shops, so to speak. I bought mine after the death of the Dreamcast. I'd never played on one before, ever, and I don't know why. I've still got the one, the one that I.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's all right. Go on, mate.
Oh,
it's just someone shouting in the background. Don't worry.
Oh, right. No. The actual machine that I've got now is the same one I've always had. And I hear all these stories about them overheating and things like that. I'm not too sure that was the problem that you were talking about in the Japanese market. I think you were saying there at the start. But yeah, I got my Dreamcast, and I just absolutely love it. Just because it's arcade, everything on it is arcade. You know, there's nothing. It's just an arcade paradise machine. It really is.
Oh yeah.
And everything, you know, there were a lot of so many superb games. I mean, people talk about Final Fantasy, but for me, I'd rather have Skies of Arcadia any day.
Oh man, what game!
You know, it was just, you know, there were so many good games. It's like there was one called Slave Zero. I played that game forever, but the control system on it was absolutely diabolical. But once you get into it, you actually, as far as I can remember, you move not with the stick, but with the buttons, which sounds strange, but it was absolutely, you were like a mech warrior thing, but it was really, really good, Slave Zero. And the funny thing was with Dreamcast as well, I always remember, like, you know, like House of the Dead games, and like Samba de Amigo, anything like that or confidential mission that had a sight or it had an add-on where you could play it with either the gun or the maracas. I always used to play it with a pad. I always preferred it with a pad. And San Amigo, I played it forever and ever and ever. Absolutely loved it with a pad. And of course, there was nothing that I played like that either. I'm not saying it was new. Like I'm just saying nothing I played like it. But just so many good games on it. And the fact that I don't know why they're still releasing games for it now, aren't they? Like some companies from Kickstarter. Well, they're all shoot 'em ups, which is no bad thing, because I love shoot 'em ups. But there's one that's just come out now, the Redux one. Is it Redux, Red, whatever it was? But it doesn't look very good at all. I think they need to do something else. But that PS Solar is meant to be coming to Dreamcast, isn't it?
Ooh.
So that'd be quite nice. But yeah, that's my memories of it. And then I had a collection. I started collecting for it. Just because at the time I worked in a game store, so games were coming readily available and nobody wanted it because it was just a dead machine. What the bloody hell is that?
What's that?
That TV show in the background.
Yes, they're watching a spooky ghost show.
Jesus Christ, it freaked me out.
Yeah, shit.
No, but I just started collecting for it, and I had just a huge collection. And when I sold it, it wasn't particularly collectible or anything like that. It was just something that I enjoyed and I got. But nowadays, obviously, collecting's just you know, and it doesn't matter what you're collecting for. There's somebody else collecting for it and bumping up the price. But
that's right.
Just absolutely brilliant console that released. You know, I remember playing. What was it called? Headhunter. I think that came out on Dreamcast first. As well. And that was a superb game. I'd never not really played too many things like that before. And Power Stone, again, brilliant.
Yeah.
Charge and Blast, Out Trigger. You know. Just absolutely, you can carry on and carry on. Last Blade 2, just brilliant games. So, but Last Blade 2 never got a PAL release.
No.
I had to play a copied version of that one. But but yeah, no, I absolutely love it. Love the machine. I just thought it brought a lot of firsts to gaming. But you know, but I think I just can't understand why it died a death so quickly. I don't know why. I don't understand that.
I know.
Because I didn't really know about anything about the back history to it until I was listening to it just then. I didn't really know. I didn't. I never. It was just a machine. It's always been a machine I've enjoyed, but not one that I've known a lot about, really. So, or played online with. Never played online with it ever. And of course, every machine that you got, Choo Choo Bloody Rocket. Choo Choo Rocket, which was one of those games.
Everyone had Choo Choo Rocket.
Oh, but it was so addictive. Such an addictive game when you put it on, and bloody annoying too. But yeah, love it. Absolutely love it.
Awesome.
Good. And what about you, Tom? Where did you start?
I played it when it first came out, so I'm guessing I would have been around 14 or something. I was still at school, definitely. And my older brother had a mate called Barry. If you're listening, Barry, he used to basically buy everything new when it first came out. He was like a proper early adopter. And like a month later or something, he let me borrow it for a weekend, and I pretty much just shit my pants for 48 hours. It was just so awesome. I had a Sega Bass Fishing Challenge with the fishing rod.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy Taxi, House of the Dead with the light gun. It's like what was it called? Was it a Ferrari F55 Challenge?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one, yeah?
Yeah, 355. Was it 355? Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I think that's the one, yeah. That was a great game.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, just, oh man, like so many good games for it. And it wasn't until later on when I sort of I picked one up again and started collecting for it. I eventually picked up Shenmue 1 and 2. And when I first played them, I thought if I'd have actually played these back in the day, like, it would have just completely shit on anything else like that I thought was that amazing at the time. Because I think around the same time the Dreamcast came out, Final Fantasy VIII had just come out. So there was all this kind of hype around that, and I was really hyped for it as well, because I loved 7, like, back in the day. And, yeah, I think if I'd have actually seen or played Shenmue for myself back then, like, it would have just blown it completely out the water. So that game is just so far ahead of its time. And it got kind of mixed reviews, didn't it?
That's right. I picked it up in 2002 at the arse end, so it was already dead in the water.
Right.
I was at university, and all I brought with me really was my PC and a NES, which I played through the TV out card that I had on the PC. So I went down to Ilford one day because it was in East London, and I picked one up for 30 quid with 3 games.
Whoa.
Which, if somebody told you now that you could get a Dreamcast with Crazy Taxi, Ikaruga, a loading disc so you could load foreign games, and or was it modded? No, I'm pretty sure it had a disc with it because of whatever reason. And then I think it was Shenmue as well. So if somebody told you could get all that for 30 quid right now, you'd jump all over it. But at the time, because it was failed, shops were trying to get rid of their stock so much.
Yeah.
It was. I'd never heard anything about the Dreamcast at that point. You know, I wasn't into gaming as heavily as I should have been, perhaps, or maybe not. The whole, it blew me away that games for it were like £1 for this kind of quality game. You know,
that's just insane.
Just mental. And I think the guy thought he'd got one over on me at 30 quid. You know. He was
crazy.
Trying to get rid of his dead stock, and I just, you could buy a console now with a pad for 30 quid if you're lucky.
The cases and the games though were the most annoying fucking cases ever.
What is it? It's, at the time, and the PS1 discs, the cases with them, they're fucking awful as well.
Break all the time.
Whereas the US, they had those dual cases, didn't they?
Yeah, well they're better. They look a lot better.
Better, and you can replace them bloody easily.
Because they're a CD, they're a music case, aren't they? A music. They were a lot better.
Seeing as one of those fuckers breaks, you pop out the best of Abergold and.
Okay, you do, don't you?
Double edition.
Easily replaced. Yeah.
That's right.
For a collector, it drives you nuts because you try and keep it nice. Yeah, sure.
It's the size of 3 bloody discs. 3 normal discs, those things. Jesus, they're terrible. But of course, the Dreamcast did suffer, the same as the PS1 did, from such heavy piracy.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you didn't have to. I don't know why this is, or the ins and outs of it. But nowadays all I've got is backups, shall we say?
Your original collections in New York at your apartment in Manhattan.
Absolutely, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
But but it doesn't need to be modded or chipped or anything. The machine, that was the thing. You don't need to have it modded.
I think you need to move the laser ever so slightly.
No, you don't.
Do you not?
No, I haven't done anything with my machine since I bought it, and it just works perfectly. The only thing that some of the games need a boot disc to work, so you put the boot disc in, which is again a backup disc, and so the whole thing doesn't need to be, doesn't need to be.
I think the reason it was so easy as well was because somebody found an exploit in Windows that you could get around or something along those lines.
Probably, yeah.
It did, and the PS1 as well. Everyone knew somebody that could chip a PS1. Even in our backwater town, Tom, people were doing it for a £5, weren't they? And then
copy games for a £5, man.
Yeah. And, I remember once actually I bought a game for the PS1, Roll Cage, and I took it home and I thought, this is fucking terrible, and I took it back.
That was on Dreamcast as well, I think.
Yeah. I took it back to the store, First Compute, Tom.
Yeah.
They said, I can't give you a refund because for all I know you've taken it home and copied it.
Oh.
And I said, you what? So I went home and told my dad, and my dad went in there and got a refund.
You fucking straightened that cocksucker out in 5 minutes.
I used to do that with. I used to get the same response. I used to do that with Amstrad games back in the day when I used to buy them for $3.99 from my local shop just around the corner that were sold games. And eventually, I'd take one back and then take another back, and then they'd say, well, you can copy these or something. Of course, I was doing, and but they wouldn't let me do it again. So yeah, for copying bloody games. Do you know what? That's an interesting topic. That you should have a show on that, piracy in gaming. You should have there's a lot to talk about on that.
The thing is, of course, at that age, how old? I probably did have a PC with a CD writer, but I wasn't copying PS1 games. It was I'd gone in there and I genuinely I had some money and I genuinely had made a bad decision, and I thought, that's fucking awful, I'm taking that back. Playing the game again now, I quite like it, but at the time I was gutted. I thought I'd really made a stinker.
I did the same thing with Earthworm Jim 2.
Oh, right.
His birthday money, I could have bought Grand Theft Auto 1 had just come out, and I was looking at it.
Right.
I was looking at it. I was like, this is the one I'm getting. And for some reason, I saw Earthworm Jim 2 next to it and bought that instead.
I had such fond memories of Earthworm Jim.
It's a great game, but oh man, at the time I think I cried my eyes out.
Yeah, I looked on the back of Roll Cage and I was like that. Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, futuristic. You're supersonic and you've got weapons and all that. Well, I got it home and I did a couple of tracks and I was like, this is like a dumbed down Mario Kart. It says you're going supersonic, and you probably are, except that it doesn't matter because the tracks are 3 times as long.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the Dreamcast controller?
Oh, I didn't mind it. I know it got a little bit of flack, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was all right.
I did like it at the time.
I didn't have an issue with it. I know some people did, but for whatever reason, because I've got big hands, it fit quite well into my hands.
You fat-handed twat. Sorry. That was a big train reference.
Oh God. No, I like it. It's probably one of my favourites actually. The only thing is the bloody wire. The wire which and it's got like a little,
like a bit
you
on
can
the
hook
back.
it round.
Yeah.
You can hook it round to that. So they obviously knew that it was a pain in the fucking ass. That's why they designed that.
Move it.
I know exactly. I could never understand that.
Controllers as well, couldn't you?
Yeah.
For the Dreamcast.
Yeah. Yeah, you could get a Hori controller. Not an official one, I don't think, but I'm pretty sure you could. Anyway.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was. They had some good accessories. Had a keyboard for typing of the dead.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I've got an arcade stick. I've got a Dreamcast arcade stick still.
Cool.
Boxed. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
There was a Hori fighting stick.
Oh right. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know Hori did Dreamcast stuff. I thought that all started around about the GameCube. Well, mind you, that's the same time, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, just sort of before. Just before.
I've got so many Dreamcast controllers.
You have?
Yeah, I think I've got about 6.
I had the official wheel for a while.
Oh, nice.
It was awful. It was really bad.
I always wanted the. Yeah, it is. Oh, I've got a light gun as well. I think Smooth MJ gave me that light gun. As a matter of fact, although I can't use it because I don't have a CRT TV.
Is that a console snob light gun?
Yes.
One that he's always.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I've got that one. But I always.
Just for the benefit of Sega Bass Fishing Challenge fans.
Oh.
Sorry, carry on, go.
No, I was saying I always try to get hold of the pink Hello Kitty Dreamcast model. I really wanted that. I'm sure that came with a keyboard as well. I don't know why. I don't even know whether there was a Hello Kitty game on Dreamcast. I'm not too sure whether there ever was.
Pass.
There was a Hello Kitty Dreamcast though, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I always wanted that one. Yeah. I always wanted that machine. It was like a
with a special pad and
yeah. I'm sure it was like a crystal coloured pink.
You'd look fucking special playing on that thing.
Yeah, I know. I probably would. I've actually got...
next to your My Little Pony collection.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's brilliant. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I've actually got a pink Dreamcast pad and a blue see-through one as well. I always tried to get the Japanese ones, like the exclusive Japanese pads. I've still got those. In fact, everything that I got for Dreamcast, like, except for the games themselves, I've still kept. It's the only thing in game.
Hello Kitty Lovely Fruit Park was the Dreamcast game.
Ah, there was a game, right.
And Dream Passport, Garden Panic. There's loads of them.
Oh, fucking hell, I did not know that.
Waku Cookies. Otonaru Mail.
You were missing out, Carl.
I am.
Magical Block. Jesus.
Yeah. I always remember playing the Hello Kitty. I played Hello Kitty on the Xbox original, where you're skating round. I think that's a skateboard or something. Skating round on roller skates, jumping over a wall. Absolute dog shit.
There was, of course, a black Dreamcast Sports Edition.
Ooh.
What was on?
To highlight the fact that Sega did their own sports games, basically.
Oh, right, okay. No, I haven't seen that one.
So, like Virtual Striker, Virtual Tennis, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's black with a black Dreamcast with blue logo, and it looks pretty smart actually.
Yeah.
In comparison to the old grey one. But yeah, there were a lot of good sports games, weren't there? On you had stuff like NBA Showtime, the Virtual Striker, Virtual thing, Ready to Rumble Boxing was on there.
Was the Dreamcast one of the first consoles to say, like today, where there's a new game out and there's a new 3DS designed to go with it? Well, was the Dreamcast one of the first consoles to bring out consoles specifically for games, like the Hello
No, I think N64 did it first.
Oh, of course they did. Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon, Zelda.
And there's probably ones before that as well.
Well, there was a Zelda 64.
I think there was an Ocarina of Time 64 one. There's definitely a Pokemon, a Pikachu one.
Yeah, I've seen that one. But I mean, was
there a gold one for James Bond?
Yes,
I really don't know.
limited edition.
Can they do a bunch of coloured ones
they
as well?
They did do a bunch of coloured ones.
Oh yeah, I mean like game specific, for games.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Dreamcast had quite a lot of machines that did that.
Chris, I think, can you check and see if there's I don't think I'm misremembering this. I think there was a Resident Evil Dreamcast brought out for Code Veronica.
Oh, right.
Well, there was a Pokemon Stadium.
Yes, that's the one with Pikachu on it.
And and there was a Pokemon one with the Pikachu on. So
snap!
The Pokemon Stadium one had didn't have the 3D effect, but it had a yellow Pokemon pad.
Oh, okay.
Instead of the Pikachu one, which had the blue pad, and they had the Pikachu with the light up cheeks on the console.
Yeah, that's the one.
So it's a bit of an odd one, but there were some really rare, like the Panasonic Cube is rare.
Yeah.
And there's the white Sega Game Gear Rare.
There was a TV, wasn't there? There was a
That's
TV
right.
with a built-in Dreamcast.
That's right. It's like a blue. It never came out of Japan, but it's like a blue like space helmet.
Yeah, it reminds me.
Two little fucking aerials coming out of it.
I think.
Oh snap!
I think it's in Space Channel 5, that TV. I think it's featured in in the background and whatnot. I think it's in there.
Okay, I really want that Resident Evil Dreamcast.
There was a Resident Evil Code Veronica Dreamcast.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. Never.
That's a red one with a red pad.
So, in 2 years, they brought out all these bloody consoles. I think that's... No wonder they're downfall. They must have been spending money hand over fist to make these fucking things.
Yeah, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? It's, it's a bit of a strange one.
They were top of the world at one point. It's such an awful fall from grace.
Such a downfall as well. Not just of that, but like how they came. You know, it's a really sad story actually when you think about it.
Yeah.
And what's ironic is that the franchise, the Sonic franchise, obviously that Sega are famous for, are now supporting the failing franchise of today of Nintendo.
Yeah, it's a curse.
Well,
wherever
it's
Sonic
kind
goes.
of, so I don't know what that's about.
Here you go. I mean, there was a gold N64, but it was only released in Toys R Us in America and Japan.
Oh.
Right. The idea was that it went with GoldenEye.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
Right.
Bit of a thing for you there, but yeah, there were loads of N64s. Like there were 4 Pokemon versions, in fact, in Japan. In Europe, there were very few releases. There was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consoles for the N64 in Europe. The majority of which there was like some crossover between North America and Japan. But the majority were like North American, funnily enough.
Right.
So Nintendo at the time recognised the Western market, which Sega didn't.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, bit of a strange one. And the N64 even had a fishing rod accessory like the Dreamcast.
Ah.
Do you remember those fucking rumble vests that would rearrange your organs every time you got shot?
Yeah.
Feel every punch.
But the Dreamcast really was a contender, and if you look back on it now, of course it's easier to see in retrospect. But if you look back on it now, you do find yourself wondering, why didn't we pay more attention to this fucking amazing bit of gear we had? The truth of it is, it was just marketing. The Sega's arrogance in believing that the market would want them there and all the rest of it, instead of really pushing out. If they would have overspent the marketing, they would have gone down in the first year and then raised themselves up. But instead, they didn't. They had a poor first year in Japan, and then by the time they got to America and Europe, it was they were already then going up against what was seen as the next gen, PS2.
Yeah.
When you've got a console then that says, oh yeah, well you can use it as a DVD player. No, you don't need to get anything extra.
Am I right in thinking that the PS2 was maybe 256 and the Dreamcast was 128?
Correct. Yeah. There were improvements to it, but then the Xbox came along and that was far superior to the PS2, but still didn't outsell the PS2. The PS2 had such good licensing that you could just smash it. And let's not forget that a lot of casual gamers, if you will, or people who buy like FIFA and so forth.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have picked up the Dreamcast. Yeah, Virtua Striker, what's that? Who do I care about that? I want to play FIFA.
Yeah.
I want named players. The same in America. But NFL, what? NFL hits? No thanks. I'll take Madden.
Yeah.
So
also, didn't fucking Yu Suzuki kind of blow Sega's money on Shenmue 1 and 2?
that's right. Yeah, it was very very expensive. Paid off in the long run, but
Kind of.
the timings didn't work out well for them.
I actually didn't enjoy that game.
Shenmue.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it at all.
Yes.
It's because the script is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it was like...
The voice acting is even worse. And Yu Suzuki's
amazing, but
kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't there some, like... Obviously, there was some... I can remember, like, was there, like, an Easter egg of Outrun in it, or something like that, or...
was it Outrun?
Something like that. I'm sure... Oh, no, was it Outrun, or was it, like, Afterburner? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. No, Space Harrier.
Space Harrier, that was it, yeah.
It's like, yeah, literally, that was the problem with it. It's like, you go to work, like, do your job, like, driving a forklift, like, get into a fight with your girlfriend, play Space Harrier. But,
yeah,
man,
that's it, yeah.
it's just like real life.
Yeah.
And if the bus said the next bus will be in 15 minutes, you had to wait those goddamn 15 minutes.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, man, it was all in real time.
Yeah.
I mean, on the attention to detail, like, you can spend like an hour just dicking around in his room at the start, just opening all the drawers and just check every single nook and cranny. It's like crazy. It's almost like a Peter Molyneux level of.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so it was a strange game. I mean, there was nothing like it, but you know, you had to give your all your time to it and you know get into it. But I don't know. I just couldn't bring myself to get into it. I just found it boring. But
I think the problem is like kind of it's meant to be like a sort of nostalgia thing for Japanese people, isn't it? Sort of like an 80s sort of Japanese nostalgia, which we kind of probably don't get over here. Or maybe all the Japanophiles who sit around all day cursing the roundness of their eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's for one of its most famous games. You know, it definitely wasn't one of my favourite. But I mean, Power Stone came out on Dreamcast, didn't it? That was on anything else, was it? So they were quality games. I don't know. Bang.io came out on Dreamcast, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's a brilliant game. By Treasure. I don't know. It had some superb games. I just can't quite... thinking about it now, I just wonder why... I don't know why it didn't do very well. I know you say it's marketing, but I mean, it's the same with Nintendo today, isn't it? But I just think there's the marketing side of it, and maybe that just like gaming's moved on anyway, because Sega just did Sega games for Sega consoles, and I think that when the new generation of consoles came out, then they just fell behind, didn't they? Because they relied on their own franchises to sell their console.
Sony had amazing marketing for the PS2.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And it paid off. I mean, it's. I think, is it still the best-selling console of all time?
The PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Didn't it get beat by the Wii or something depressing?
The Wii, yeah. Sorry, the Wii. But apart from the Wii, it's the best-selling console of all time.
Yeah.
Look at the size of the library. Huge.
Yeah, so many good games. Like, oh man, too many to play in a lifetime.
Yeah, true.
So, the Dreamcast died, and for the last ever since then, you always hear, oh, fucking Dreamcast 2's coming out. It's not.
No,
it's not. No.
It's really not ever.
No,
that's up there with the Phantom.
Yeah, exactly. And the fucking what was it? The
next Nintendo console.
Yeah. the Wii 3.
Wii 3.
It's not gonna happen.
The Wii.
It's just Sega killed themselves. You know, they did some sensible stuff though in the beginning. They didn't market. They realised how the Game Gear had failed against the Game Boy, so they left Nintendo to the handheld and they focused on their home console. And as a result, the Mega Drive was fantastic. They didn't split anything across. They went on to the Mega CD like an add-on, and that was like, oh, okay, it's got potential. Yeah, fine. Killed it before it went off. Saturn killed it before it went off. Dreamcast oh shit, we've got no money left. They never really got past the Mega Drive. You know, the Dreamcast was good, but despite how good it was never good enough to make up for their past mistakes.
Yeah.
And if you are a gamer and you do love gaming, you know, and it's kind of the same situation what Nintendo have now with the Wii U. Everyone knows that it puts out good games, and you know, people who have given it a chance love it. But people who don't try it, you know, or play Mario for a couple of times and then leave it, they're in that situation. I feel there's a lot of parallels to be drawn between the Dreamcast and the Wii U.
Yeah, there is. Thinking about it, they are very, very similar indeed. And I didn't realise how, when you were talking about it, then there were so many. Sega released so many bloody add-ons for every single fucking console that they did, didn't they? With the Sega Mega Drive and the bloody Sega CD 32X, Jesus.
That's right. They didn't just have. You got to remember, it wasn't just the Mega CD. It was. You had to have the right Mega CD for the right Mega Drive.
Yeah.
So if you had a Mega Drive 2, you had to get. Well, you didn't have to get. You did get the Mega CD one, but it all looked clunky. There's great big bricks of power supply.
Oh God, yeah.
Which you couldn't put another power supply next to.
I fucking hate those things. I always have to get another power supply to play on it.
By the time you've got the Tower of Power, the Mega Drive one, the Mega CD, and the 32X,
it looks
taken up
ridiculous.
6 places on your power. Jeez.
Yeah.
Horrendously bad ideas starting with the Mega CD and the FMV stuff that was released on it. The Sega Saturn didn't cater for Westerners enough to be taken seriously. The Dreamcast tried, again, cocked up because they didn't release it in the Western market until a year down the line. It all resulted in just such a terrible shitstorm.
So what was the best-selling game then on Dreamcast? I imagine it would be Sonic. Oh, was it Choo Choo Rocket? Oh, right.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Because it was the game that came with it.
Oh, God, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just the same as Wii Sports is for the Wii, you know. Past that, I would imagine probably Sonic Adventure or
yeah,
possibly Crazy Taxi or Jet Set Radio, but Jet Set Radio for me still such a great game.
Oh man, that soundtrack. Some of it is so terrible it's awesome.
But it's just such a different game, such a unique thing, and that's
the thing. Yeah, that's what made it brilliant. Just that they were all fresh and new and
Crazy Taxi, you know, just huge. Nathan played it for the first. Well, watched me play it, and he still says, "Play the Yellow Taxi game. Play the Yellow Taxi game." You know, it's a great game. You know,
yeah.
People love it. Loads of replayability.
Got some great memories of the Dreamcast.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I just think that it really wasn't marketed enough to the Western world, first of all, and second, that it just wasn't kept alive long enough. You know, they didn't give it its time.
It was terrible miscommunication between like both lines as well, between like the US and Japan. It was awful. I mean, it's kind of always the case, really, but it was particularly bad at that time.
But then look at that, and now look at Nintendo. You've got Nintendo of America and Nintendo of Japan, and you're like, oh shit, son.
Oh god. Yeah, scary times ahead. It really is.
It's a real shame. I think though that the Wii U's got enough credibility now where it can put itself out, but it's backed up by the best mobile platform device going in terms of sales. So it's got strong 3DS sales. Everyone knows Nintendo for their handheld gamer, but again, Sony could knock them off that. You know, the Vita's been making great strides recently. It
tripped on its face out the gate though badly. I mean, so did the 3DS, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly think I think Nintendo are completely fucked. I don't think there's any way back from. I think that I hope I'm wrong, like, because obviously I love Nintendo games, but I think once you see Smash Brothers, Bayonetta 2, Mario Kart 8, the Zelda Hyrule, once you see them this year, I think the whole thing's knackered.
Yeah, I was thinking of that, and
yeah,
I thought, oh fuck,
there's nothing there.
After that?
Honestly, there's nothing there, and they're not going to take a chance on a new franchise.
Are they going to do a Zelda and a Metroid? You know, that's the only two things that they've got left to pull out, haven't they?
They've got quite a few things, but I just don't think there's enough time for them to do it now. I think people have already lost the interest in the console.
If they were going to do anything, they would need to do something with Zelda Sharpish, and I'm hoping that there's something in development, but God knows.
You see so many people say the same thing, like, I've bought every Nintendo console since, like, the Super Nintendo or whatever, and this is the first one I haven't brought, like...
But they could then do something really revolutionary, like they could bring out an Animal Crossing MMO.
Yeah, see stuff like that would be really good. But I mean, a friend of mine, he says, you know, he's bought every Zelda going, but he said to me, he doesn't think he can stand to play another fucking Zelda game. He said he's had enough of them now. Even though he enjoys them, he's just had enough. He wants to move on with it. So.
How many games now? You know, you've got one on the Game Boy, two on the Game Boy Color.
What are we talking about here?
Zelda.
Jesus, man.
One Game Boy, two Game Boy Color.
NES, SNES, Game Boy Color, CDI, N64,
two GBA,
GameCube,
two DS, one 3DS. Yeah. You're looking at 8 Zelda games on handhelds.
Oh God.
We've got 90 seconds left, folks.
The Dreamcast was great.
It was great. It's dead now.
Oh God.
It's a shame it's dead, but it has left its mark on us all.
Yeah.
And not with a branding iron, thankfully. It's a console that everyone should check out and everyone should own. As Carl said, piracy is rife. So if you are worried about cost, playing a great retro console, you probably can't do much worse than getting a Dreamcast, to be frank.
True. Very true.
It is a great console. It has great games. Check out Crazy Taxi. Check out Jet Set Radio. Check out... There's something filthy going on my TV.
Whoa!
That was on the Dreamcast.
That was not on the Dreamcast. That was on the Mega CD. Night Trap.
Oh, yeah.
Check out Soul Calibur. Check out Sonic Adventures.
Absolutely, yeah.
Code Veronica, Rez, Ikaruga, Jet Set Radio, Power Stars, Headhunter, House of the Dead 2, Grandia 2, Dead or Alive, Metropolis Street Racer. Check them all out. Go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go now.
Run! £30 for the podcast. So thanks very much, guys, and thank you to Carl and to Tom again.
Thank you.
This has been
good to be back, guys.
Podcast.
Thank you.
Peace out.